Good evening and welcome to the 2 Meter Crew Antinet. My name is Nick, call signs KN6DAL. I'll be coordinating tonight, and first and foremost we want to say a big thanks to the W6VVR repeater and the Vaca Valley Radio Club, also to the Freestar Network for the use of their repeaters and digital connections, and a big thanks to the following people: Mike, WG5EEK, Greg, KN6KIE, and Brian, KK6BXP, for all of the continued networking efforts and keeping all of those digital connections alive. Thank you. And if there's any priority or emergency traffic, we'll always clear the air. You can say your call sign and break, and we will clear the air for any priority or emergency traffic. If you have any at this time, please come now and tell us. All right, looks like we're clear of emergencies tonight. The 2 Meter Crew is not an actual club. We're just a group of hams that are learning and enjoying all things ham related. There are no dues or fees to be a 2 Meter Crew member. For more information, you can visit our website at 2metercrew.net or join our Discord group. There's a link in the YouTube description for that. on that topic, real quick, I'll just say if you're interested in growing and pursuing different things within the hobby, it would be a great idea to join an actual club. There's multiple clubs in all kinds of different areas, and I would definitely encourage anybody who's interested to link up with other ham radio operators in their area. If you have any questions, you can email or message any of the people in any of the coordinators in Discord, or you can email me. My email is good on QRZ. We'd love to help you get linked up with a club or someone local in your area that can help you pursue different things in the hobby. Also, please keep in mind that this is an open net. Everybody's welcome to join in and say hi. The 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net meets every Wednesday at 8 p.m. or 3 a.m. UTC on the W6VVR repeater with a 145.470 negative offset of 600 kilohertz and a PL tone of 127.3. We're also able to be linked through Echolink at W6VVR-R, All-Star nodes 51094, 512342, DMR talk group 3174117, YSF reflector 50462, and through Freestar, two of their All-Star links are 2195 and 53377. And last but not least, we're also streaming live here at Northwest Ham Shack. Please like and subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications on when we are having the next Anti-Net. Before we get going with anything, just want to take a minute and call out, see if there's anybody out there that wants to check in with us and say hi. Come on in now.
One FRD. Good evening, Nick and the Anti-Net.
Hey, don't forget to do the trivia question.
Yeah. Hey, Fred, how's it going? You know what? You're going to be my first candidate. We're going to ask a quick trivia question. Ham operators in the early days most often laid out and secured their coils, tubes, sockets, and other components on what kind of chassis? A, cookie sheets. B, sardine cans. I said C. B, sardine cans. C, empty oatmeal boxes. Or D, wooden boards. What do you think, Fred?
D, Delta, wooden boards.
All right, good guess, and we will give the answer here after a little bit. I appreciate you checking in. Anything interesting going on tonight, Fred?
I just got off work, contemplating buying another antenna. That's about it.
Well, I think I can speak for everybody when I say that's a good place to spend your money. What kind of antenna are you looking at getting?
To get another Yagi for 2 meters. I got the one for the satellites, but I just want one I can stick on my house. We'll try to work some sideband with Derek.
Hey, there you go. Once you pick one out and you finally get it and all put together, put some pictures on Discord so that we can check it out.
Thinking about a chimney mount, just above the roof line where you can't see it from the street, and a little rotator. Yeah, I'm either looking at the Aero 4 element or the Diamond, the 5 element.
Well, awesome. Hopefully that works out for you. I have a big dual phased array. It's like a 14 element, two 14 elements that run together. And it's just sitting in my backyard because I don't know how I'm going to put it up. I mean, I am in an HOA, so I don't know how I could ever make that work. The thing's huge, but if I could, it would be really awesome to play around with. So hopefully that works out for you. Let's see if we've got any other check-ins. Anybody else out there?
Okay, 6 CWS.
K6DWS, how's it going tonight?
All right, on the commute home. That's a long day in Frisco.
I can imagine. Yeah, it was a long day for me too. If you want, take a stab at this question. Ham operators in the early days often laid out and secured their coils, tubes, sockets, and other components on what kind of chassis? A. Cookie sheets. B. Sardine cans. C. Empty oatmeal boxes. Or D. Wooden boards.
The oatmeal boxes.
All right, that was my guess in the beginning too. So we'll have to see at the end who comes out the winner, and the answer hasn't been disclosed to me yet. So I've got to wait for the almighty powers to tell me what the answer is to it. Thanks for checking in tonight. Anything else you want to add before we move on to the next candidate? The next tribute.
Doing the check-in, listening. It's been a while since I've done anything with the 2-meter net, so I'm just hanging on the side. K6CWS.
Awesome deal. Well, thanks for checking in with us tonight. This is Nick, KN6DAL. Calling any other stations. Come on in.
KR6BBQ.
KR6BBQ, what's happening tonight?
Still at work, working really late today, just finishing up. I'm about to be out of here in a few minutes, so just checking in real quick.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Hopefully work finishes up good for you. And if you have anything to add on your commute home, throw it out there. Who else we got out there tonight? All right, we thought it'd be kind of fun to take a little throwback. You know, we had a really awesome coordinator, Chris N6CMB, who's not with us anymore. He was a silent key, and one of the things that Chris always liked to do was do a today in history, and so we thought it'd be appropriate to maybe bring that back every once in a while and just throw out some interesting things that that we found in history for the day and give them to you. So. Let's just start from the top. The one that I found interesting, in 1513, Spanish explorer Vasco Núñez de Balboa discovered the Pacific Ocean. And that's probably debatable on who found the Pacific Ocean first, but he was the first documented person to find the Pacific. And in 1932, on this day, a 5-day work week was established for General Motors workers. Also in 1939, Germany and the Soviet Union reached an agreement on the division of Poland. And on this day in 1962, Canada launched its first satellite, the Alouette 1. And for all you car lovers out there, in 1966, Chevrolet introduced the Camaro, which later became an iconic car. Except for in the 90s, KN6DAL. All right. On this day in 2008, many of you may remember this, the Dow Jones Industrial Average plummets 777.68 points in the wake of Lehman Brothers and the Washington Mutual bankruptcies, the largest single-day point loss in Wall Street history. And last but not least, a little bit more of a sobering one. In 2009, a 8.1 earthquake caused a tidal wave that claimed 187 lives in Samoa, American Samoa, and Tonga. And that's it for American history on this day. KN60AL. All right, let's take one more round of check-in, see who we got out there. Anybody else out there want to check in and say hi? All right, I made it through the introduction. Tonight's topic, we thought it'd be fun to kind of just talk through logging a little bit. Not necessarily any specific part of logging, but just in general. I'm curious to see what other people use for logging software, logging techniques, what their reason is for doing it, and just kind of the ins and outs. So I'm going to start off by just telling you a little bit about what I know and kind of what I do. And then I'll pass it to Jim, and maybe he can say a few words on it, and we'll see what else anybody else wants to bring to the table. Logging for me, I started off with HF. I literally have a notebook that I just started logging, paper logging in, and I don't log anything on 2 meters unless I'm doing like a SOTA activation, and then I'll write down a paper log and then convert that onto the computer when I get home. And during general kind of HF conversations, I oftentimes will just use a paper log to make notes on who I've talked to. Now, in a contest or something that's a little bit more formal like field day, I like to use N1MM, which is a really easy to use program that has a lot of different features for logging quickly and getting your contact put in a database so that you can upload that, and there's multiple different ways to upload it, and that's about what I use. I've tried to use Log4OM, and it's a really complicated program, and I'm not really a big points chaser as far as that goes. So some of my logging, I guess, could be better. But I'm curious to see what other people are doing and what other people have out there that makes logging interesting for them, or how they just go about their day-to-day activities. So with that, I'll pass it over to Jim, KJ6FMP. What do you got for us tonight, Jim?
Well, this is KJ6FMP. Thank you, Nick. Actually, I don't log because I don't do anything that needs logging. I'm interested in it when I eventually do something like get into a contest or do POTA. I'll probably do POTA long before I do SOTA kind of stuff. But I was more curious about what others are doing, and maybe get tips from some of the folks about, do they have a certain type of software that they like? I've heard people talking about, there's one called Hammers, HAMRS. That's kind of a newcomer. And then there's Log of the World, LOTW, for certain logs. And I really don't know which ones are best for different activities. But so maybe somebody's out there that has a suggestion or wants to just chime in and tell us what you're using for logging. What have you tried? What do you like? What do you not like? So, I mean, that's selfishly for me. I can go on the internet and look around, but it's a lot better to hear it from other amateur radio operators and kind of get their perspective on it. And so if anybody's got some tips, tricks, or what they think is the godsend of logging applications, or if you're old school and you just do it paper for your own happiness, I don't know. I mean, I log when I'm on nets. I got a little notebook here. I do that kind of logging, but nothing super official. That's just for me.
All right, Jim, thank you. Your notebook looks a lot cleaner than mine does. Mine ends up chicken scratch all over the place, and I can't even remember what I put down. So you're already a step ahead of me.
I need to show you my desk. Hold on. Just indulge me. See if I can get this to work.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so I write stuff on my desk because I built this desk. It's wood, and it's also a writing surface for me. So
There you go.
otherwise, I lose things. I have this one little notepad just for my net logging stuff and for people I want to look up, or I scan a lot during the day when I'm working, and so I catch other nets. And I've just caught one earlier tonight, the Red Cross net at 7 or 6:45 on Mount Diablo repeater, one of the Mount Diablo repeaters. So
That's awesome. This is Nick, KN6DAL. Who do we got out there that has some experience with net logging? Come on in now.
One FRD. I log on that logbook that's on my QRZ page, and typically I just log my HF contacts and my satellite contacts, and then I'll send out QSL cards for my satellite contacts. The 2-meter stuff, if it's a really far 2-meter simplex, maybe I'll log that.
Yeah, thanks for that, Fred. It's I'm really glad that I wrote down and kept track of the very first few contacts that I made on HF, because that was really interesting to me. And if anybody's in the YouTube chat that has any logging experience or any software apps that they prefer to use, one of the things for SOTA, you had mentioned SOTA, Jim. One of the things for SOTA, there's a lot of people out there that use different apps on their phone and stuff like that. And what I found that for me personally, I just can't do it. I can't hold a radio in one hand and a phone in the other hand and coordinate all of it. It's so much easier for me just to write down what I hear on a piece of paper, write down the time, write down the signal report, and then move on, and then deal with that all later. And that's my experience, but there may be some people that use apps that they find are really easy for them, and if so, I want to hear from them. So anybody else out there that has any experience with logging software?
And 6 ETR.
I think that was November 6th, Echo Tango Sierra. Come on in.
Sorry, Nick. It's Echo Tango Romeo. It's Dan here. Good evening, guys.
Oh, hey, Dan. How's it going tonight?
Doing all right. Hope you guys are doing well. I just thought I'd give my 2 cents on the Hammers app.
Take it away, buddy.
Yeah, so great conversation, because I really don't do a lot of logging myself, not as much as I should be. So Servando, I think it's K6SRV, turned me on to Hammers right before field day. And I agree with you, Nick. It's kind of difficult to balance a handheld mic and a phone. I'm not a one-thumb texter, so it takes a little bit of learning, but it's a great app. It's very simplified. It's got reservations for your call sign, your club call sign, custom templates for specific competitions, and it has an automatic QTH finder. I actually just typed in your call and it told me your city and state. I think it can log your grid square and stuff automatically. So that's all I had to say. N6 ETR.
That's really interesting. So that's called Hammers, Hammers, right?
It's an abbreviation. It's HAMRS.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. I'm gonna look into that and see if I can play around with it. I've put a couple of different apps on my phone, and none of them were just like user friendly to the point where I said, this is outdoing paper. I got to do this, And so I always just kind of reverted back. But I'll take a look at it, and hopefully anybody else that hears this, if they don't have it and they're looking for something, they can jump on and try that as well. And it looks like we have a couple people in the chat that were jumping in to say hi. We've got KK60VH in Sebastopol. Welcome. I believe his name's Darvin. Thanks for checking in tonight. Any other stations want to come in and chime in before I pick on Connor?
What?
All right, Connor. This is Nick KN60AL. It's time to wake up. We're calling on you next. What do you use for logging software? If not, what would you consider using as far as like for HF or any long contacts or anything like that?
K7CBL. What do I use? I use QRZ normally. I know a lot of people don't use it, so it's somewhat problematic. Because I go to confirm it. I just want confirmed contacts, you know, so I go punch them in and people don't confirm the contacts, and or sometimes they get rejected, or sometimes they don't even log because the person doesn't use QRZ or whatever. So at this time I'm actually trying to set up N1MMM while this is going on, and just to have a local log of, you know, who I've contacted, just more for me, not for any contacts or anything like that, as I've kind of given up on QRZ due to the lack of people who use it. And yeah, so that's kind of all I really use. I've heard of some good ones out there, but like I said, I'm trying to set up N1MM right now, and I'm having a bit of a difficult time just getting through it. So other than that, I don't really have anything else to say on logging other than paper and pencil, or paper and pen, whatever you want to call it, the old school method, and QRZ if you use that one, or some logging software that links to QRZ so that you don't have to actually go into QRZ's webpage. You can just connect to the internet and it syncs up and logs all the contacts. So other than that, I don't have anything else to say. K7CBL, back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Connor. KN60AL. I'm gonna let this drop for just a second. You know, ironically, I hear a lot of people say, you know, pen and paper for a lot of different like remote contacts and stuff like that. You know, when they're out in the field working, you know, the batteries have never ran out on my paper notebook, but they do on your phone, you know, and so I don't know. We have KOLWC chimed in again and said that he uses QRZ for his master log, but he also uses N1MM as well. And he said, I sync up to Logbook of the World and EQSL from QRZ, and then also manually upload to Club Log once in a while. And yeah, I've heard the same thing that Connor has experienced with. I've never used the QRZ log, but I've heard that there's issues with that to some degree. But it seems to be popular amongst some of the people around here as far as using. So that might be something worth looking into if it's fairly easy to track that way. But yeah, before I forget, because I forgot last time, we're gonna answer the question. We're gonna answer the trivia question. So before we do, I'll give anybody that wants to take another stab at it one more shot. The question was, ham operators in the early days most often laid out and secured their coils, tube sockets, and other components on what kind of chassis? A, cookie sheets, B, sardine cans, C, empty oatmeal boxes, or D, wooden boards. Any last takers on taking a stab at that question?
Victor Echo 7, Whiskey, Foxtrot.
VE7WF. Thanks for checking in. How's it going tonight?
Good evening. Yeah, name's Rick, near Vancouver, British Columbia. It's going quite nice. It's been a bit of a rainy day today, but we need it because it's been such a long dry summer, like so many other places. I'll take a guess at the question there. I'll say pieces of wood because breadboarding, of course, is something that's been around forever. And my first projects were done on slabs of wood. And as far as logging is concerned, I've always, the last, I don't know, 7 or 8 years used Ham Radio Deluxe. I really like that program. I use it for lots of things. It is a very amazing program. Covers so many things. Logging is really nice because I'm not a fast logger. I'm not a high speed. I'm not one of these people who, contests and can log, a station every 8 seconds or something. But you put in a call sign, you hit one button, and it looks it up on QRZ.com. See, it puts in all the information, and all you have to do is hit another button to log for time. So I like it. That's my favorite, and I've been using it for a long time. And it'll sync up with Log of the World as well. So there you go, VE7 Whiskey Fox.
That's awesome. Thanks for answering the question, and thanks for giving the feedback on the net logging software. Vancouver, British Columbia is actually pretty close to me, and we're kind of experiencing that rain too. We've had a really dry, kind of dry summer. I'm in Everett, Washington, so not too far south from you. And your signal sounds amazing coming in tonight. And what route are you using to connect?
The node I'm on is 2195, which is the UK node, I believe. Yeah, I've got my node here. I'm just coming in through using IXRPT onto my own node, and then linking to the UK node. I've got a 10-meter FM radio on this node too, on my node 29.6 simplex, a remote base that's open to anybody. And I'm also on 2-meter sideband, primarily Pacific Northwest VHF Society, along weak signals type stuff. So work down your way quite frequently, actually. Go ahead.
Hey, that's awesome. I was actually writing a bunch of that stuff down. Just an invitation. You're always welcome to link up to us if you're not busy and you want to connect some stuff. We're connected every Wednesday night to that UK node that you said, the 2195. That's for Freestar. Great group of people over there, and they're all about just experimenting and trying new things and different types of connections. So we welcome and invite any of that. And I appreciate you checking in with us tonight. I'll take one last call out and see if anybody out there wants to answer the trivia question before we answer it. But I do appreciate you jumping in tonight. VE7, was it VE7WF, I believe. Thank you so much. KN68.
Yeah, QSL, Washington, Florida.
All right, let's see. Who else we got out there? Anybody want to take a stab at the trivia question before we answer it?
You can answer on the YouTube as well. This is KJ6FMP, right?
I actually want a radio check, K7CBL. How do I sound? I just had to reset my Pi-Star.
Well, you don't sound as good as the Vancouver station did. I'm going to be honest with you. but you sound good, KN60AL.
Copy. Thank you.
All right, without further ado, I know you guys are all sitting on the edge of your seats just waiting to hear the answer to this question, so I'll fire it off. Ham radio operators in the early days most often laid out and secured their coils, tube sockets, and other components on what kind of chassis? Is it A, cookie sheets, B, sardine cans, C, empty oatmeal boxes, or D, wooden boards? Let me just phone a friend and see if I can get the answer. Oh, there we go. It just popped up. Wooden boards is the answer, D. So those of you that answered D, you got it right. I answered C earlier on, and I was wrong. KN60AL.
This is KJ6FMP. Hey, Nick, I think it's because you were hungry, though. You were thinking oatmeal sounds good right about now.
I
It's
know,
snack
right?
time.
Well,
Yeah.
I find comfort in being wrong sometimes. So.
All right. All right. Fair enough.
All right. Well, we're it's 8:30 now. Pretty soon we'll be posting a drop link on YouTube for anybody that wants to jump in. Maybe doesn't have access to the repeater systems or to the digital connections. You're welcome to come into Zoom and hang out with us and talk. We'll drop that link here in a minute. Let's see if we have any other stations out there that want to chime in and say hi. It can just be you're swinging in just to check in. If you have any input on logging software, you're welcome to share that information or anything else that's on your mind. Come on in now. All right, nothing being heard. I'm going to make one last call out, and then we'll shut down the repeaters and move over to Zoom. Thank you, Connor, for dropping the link in YouTube for others to see. If you want to come in, you're welcome in anytime, and we'll just be hanging out for a little bit. This is Nick, KN6DAL, last call, calling QRZ for any stations that want to check into the 2 Meter Crew Antinet.
Whiskey 3, Hotel Delta Bravo.
W3HDB. Good evening. How's it going tonight?
Good. Dan in Bethesda, Maryland, near Washington, D.C. So, not sure where the YouTube thing is or the Zoom conference or whatnot, but interesting topic. W3HDB.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, Dan. You can reach us if you're looking for access to the Zoom meeting. If you go to YouTube and just search for Northwest Ham Shack, and once you find that, there's a live stream going right now. You can click on that link. In the chat drop down, there is a link to the Zoom meeting, and you can just click on that, and it'll get you access into the meeting. And you're welcome to join in anytime. Again, that's Northwest Ham Shack on YouTube, and from there we can get you any other information that you're interested in. But if you jump in there, we'll post the link a couple more times just in case you can't see. I'm not sure if you can see the previous chat texts in the chat lineup on YouTube. I'm not sure, but if you can, just jump in there and we'll see you in a minute. And if not, I appreciate you checking in all the way from Washington D.C. I'll give you one last go around before we clear out and move on to the next station.
Okay, great. I see it. Thanks, W3HDB.
All right. Thanks for checking in, Dan. Any other stations before we switch over to Zoom? Come on in now and say hi. All right, nothing being heard. We're going to shut it down and return these repeaters back to normal operation. Again, big thanks to the W6VVR, the Vaca Valley Radio Club, and Freestar for all of the use of the different connections. And remember, if you are new to radio, just got your license, and you're looking for the next step, find a local club. Join a local club. Even if you can't afford to get involved at that point, you don't need any money to start up. People will help you on your adventure. So get connected. Everybody's here to help other people grow, and we definitely want to help any way we can. If you have any questions, you can always contact us. There is links in the description to our Discord group, and you can find more information on us at 2metercrew.net. So thanks, everybody, for coming in tonight. Appreciate the content and the talk. And we will return the repeaters back to normal operation. 7-3. And then I have to disconnect so I don't forget.
Yeah, don't forget that part. Yeah. I can't wait until I get some of the ones around here on the air, man. It's going to be a lot more people checking in. You're gonna have to get a full page of paper this time, Nick.
It's what I've found is it's really oh, Dan made it. Hi, Dan. We what I found is with digital connections, you have to leave like a super uncomfortably long pause. And I remember looking back time and time again, there's so many times where I heard people say they didn't leave enough of a break, and it was like, man, we really felt like we did, but it's got to be like this. It's got to be like, come on in now, and then like just stay silent, keep waiting. And then because there's a lag, like haven't you ever
Latency.
like if
Yeah,
you listen to
super high
RF,
latency.
if you
Yeah.
listen to RF and then go listen to like that same thing and it's connected to a YSF reflector or something, sometimes there's like a 1 to 3 second like delay
Oh yeah.
before,
Yeah.
and so it takes that much longer for them to come back. Echolink was horrible, sometimes it would be a horrible delay and you could never get in. And so you have to leave that big long pause, and that seems to help getting other people that I think want to chime in but just don't get an opportunity.
Yeah, no, that's definitely for sure what it is. I really want to get some more. I'm gonna try to work with Mike, EEK Mike.
Yeah.
And when he's free, not only for my projects, which are very minimal right now. I'm not too worried about it. I've kind of given up on it. But for brain working here, so I've got, like I said, I got a bunch of repeaters that I can link up. It's just we need IRLP connectivity. So making an all-star node or cross to Echolink. Honestly, I want to do all-star. That is that has an IRLP reflector. That way I can connect in a boatload of repeaters over here and get some more people involved, because I know there's some CERT groups that have that use a couple repeaters that my buddy is the I don't know what you call it, but the primary maintainer and the owner of them.
Right.
And he gave me the AOK to use them. It's just we gotta get linked up to them. But once we do that, we'll have more people, hopping on. So
I was curious, Connor. You posted a picture of a radio. It kind of reminded me of the old CB radios, the Cobras that had a box, but then off of the box came the hand mic, and all the controls were on the hand mic.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever end up ordering that radio?
I ordered it, and after 3 weeks of it not even going to ship, I canceled it, and I got all my money back. I really should have just left it, but yeah, it's a really cool. The radio itself is only like, if you think of 2 Raspberry Pis sitting next to each other, that's how big the radio is. And then the microphone reminds me a lot of what Motorola did. They're called the HHCH, handheld control head. Motorola makes them, and it just plugs into the radio, and all the controls are there. The only problem is if you don't do it right, it's horrible.
We lost
That
Dan, man. We lost Dan.
Where'd Dan go?
He
We
probably
didn't let him talk,
darn it.
man.
Well, I don't think his video was working. He couldn't get his video working or something.
Oh, all right. Well, okay.
But yeah,
Sorry.
it's a cool radio. But in my opinion, if you want that type of good quality, and this is not me being a Motorola propagandist here, but if you want that good quality handheld control head life, I would say Motorola with their 03, I don't know if it's considered the 03, but the handheld control head, maybe it's considered an 03. That's the way to go. But on that side of things, just the control head itself for that radio, for the handheld control head, costs, it already costs like $200 depending on where you look.
Yeah.
Just for the control head. But that's not bad for Motorola once you're investing, $800 into a radio.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
bad.
Ridiculous amounts of money into a Motorola.
Yeah. Hey, shut up, Nick.
Fred, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, I just downloaded the Hammers app. I like it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to jump it in. I wrote it down. I'll do it tonight. Take a
Yeah,
look
I
at
think
it.
it was $4.99.
Oh, it's not free?
No, it's not free on the. How's that?
Well, don't scare
Wait,
everybody
sorry.
away from it.
Is that free on Apple or no?
No, Apple is I think it's $4.99. I don't know. I had to set up a new Apple password. I couldn't remember my old one.
Oh boy. Yeah, I tried to set up N1MM, and I can't even figure the thing out. But it looks like that's that looks like an HF only logging platform, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it'll
plus
do
it
2
lets-
meter. You need to have your radio configured to your computer.
Oh, I just wanted to punch the frequency in. Dude, I got Motorola's. You think I can do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, there's no way to do a frequency readout. The only thing you can do on most Motorola's is channel up, channel down.
I'm super bummed you didn't get that radio because I was looking forward to seeing you check that out and seeing how it worked. I've looked. I don't even know where you put anything in for it.
I still got it. I can send it again. I might try to buy it from a different vendor because that's one that I would really like here at the desk. I don't have right now. Well, okay, I wouldn't say I don't, but it's terrible. I have a Kenwood TMV 71. That's my frequency agile radio on the desk. None of my other radios are frequency agile, and so we call that the rubber radios or a VFO radio because most of me and my buddies run commercial. So I might purchase. I just want something that I can tuck behind with an RF connector and 12 volts and have just a handheld control head literally sitting behind my desk, behind the monitors that I can grab, pick up, talk, punch in a frequency, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely look and see because I am interested in it because I just don't have room for more radios at the desk. I mean, Jim got to see firsthand what I've got going on, how hectic it is.
It actually looks pretty good though. It's pretty cool, man. Yeah. So yeah, it was impressive. You got a lot of stuff in there in that little itty bitty room.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So it's QRZ doesn't do it justice when you look at the pictures of my setup here. It's really hard to look at it and go, okay, that's cool. But when you look inside and you realize, holy crap, when he says it's an 8x10 box, he means it's an 8x10 box.
Yeah.
So you walk in the door and you only have to take 2 steps to get to the other side of the room.
But it's not, you got everything set up nice. It's not
Yeah.
not just piled up and cables, coming out the top and all over the place. It's actually pretty well done.
Don't turn your green screen off right now, Jim.
Oh my god, yeah. But no, Jim.
Oh, that's just a couple wires. Ain't nothing but a thing.
He didn't even look. He doesn't probably even know. Well, I've said it before, but where my coax passes to outside, because I only have one hole drilled in the wall, and that's for my HF antenna.
Yeah.
But all of it goes under the AC. I can.
Oh yeah, you told us about that.
Yeah. The best thing about my setup that I can brag about, I've done I've drilled into my shelves. Okay, maybe I have one drywall screw actually for my coax switch, but I've done 0 property damage.
Yeah.
Nothing's permanent. But here's the thing, my 2-meter antenna, it's just clamp mounted to a vent pipe for the bathrooms.
I think anything you do to improve your station is not considered property damage. I think that's property upgrading.
Yeah, yeah, just like making a skylight in your roof when you walk across it. Right? No, but I literally haven't I did drill one drywall screw up at the tip of the house to run my inverted V for shortwave listening. I did do that, but other than that, everything's just hose clamped. Like, my antennas are hose clamped to stink pipes because, as I was telling Jim, and he's seen, like, I don't have anywhere to put, like, a mast into the ground or anything like that. And in my city, when you go over 20 feet, you have to guy it and get it inspected. So even if I just stuck a piece of conduit in the ground and put a little bit of Quikrete in there, I have to get it inspected if it's over 20 feet. Well, there's no point in doing 20 feet at ground level because that's actually shorter than my current antenna's overall height is. So it's kind of a difficult one because I've got the stuff to do it. I've got 30-foot poles, 2-inch cast iron 30-foot poles. They're chonky, but I've got them.
I'll take one.
I pulled them off of a repeater site because they were no longer needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got tons of masts as well. There's just no way to mount them. So it is what it is.
What's new with you, Jim? What's your next ham radio adventure?
I really don't know. Not much
Battery.
adventure, not much adventure going on. I am been reading up on end-fed half waves and thinking about putting one of those up for my HF. So at least I got some HF capabilities here. I just got to figure out exactly where I'm going to put it and get
Are
it
you
high
buying the antenna, or are you building it?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'll probably build it. I mean, I built that little 10-meter dipole, and I brought it to field day, but I never strung it up anywhere. So it was like, but it was really something's wrong with the wire length or something, because I tested it and it was just totally out of whack. It wouldn't have been usable. So not without a freaking really heavy duty.
Here's my recommendation. Nick was trying to get me to make mine my own toroids and everything like that. eBay is your friend. I did a test. I laid my wire out on the fence, nothing permanent.
Yeah.
And you know, with my eBay 9-to-1 and 1-to-1 and the stuff like that, and I swept my antenna, and I was fairly surprised how well those cheap eBay items did. I spent about $80 in total. It's a little bit much, but I really need something that was watertight and UV resistant, because it's going to be on the top of a fence.
Right.
And I spent $40 on the 1-to-1 and $40 on the 9-to-1, and all you got to do is get wire then and hook it up. But it's honestly, if you don't feel comfortable winding toroids like I do, or you just don't want to, it's one of the best ways to go. So.
What is up, Mr. Cowgill?
Just got out of another meeting.
Lucky you. Good to see your face, man. Good to see you.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
All right. All right.
What did you do with your camera? It looks so much brighter.
The light.
There you go. That's better.
Is that better? Good, yeah.
Ring light?
It fixed that problem. I like it.
No, I don't know. You had it angled different or something.
No.
I get this vision that you're constantly doing little tweaky things in your shack, aren't you?
So you got to remember, a lot of this is more my office. So a lot of this ends up being office stuff. So if you're talking about from a couple months ago, the big difference is same light, not a knockoff camera. It's a legit Logitech camera. And so the white balance is right. And I don't look like I'm, 3 sheets to the wind red. So, so.
Cool. How's things going, man? You've been busier than a one-arm wallpaper hanger?
I don't like wallpaper, but yeah.
Imagine having one arm and hanging wallpaper.
I know. I was like, oh, God.
There's a picture.
So, yep. No, it's busy, and it's going to be busier, but it's good to take time for radio. So,
yeah.
We still streaming, or are we just us here?
Yeah, we're streaming. Tonight we were talking a little bit about. We actually had a few check-ins from all over different areas. Some a gentleman from British Columbia, East Coast, and stuff, and we were just kind of talking logging stuff. Not necessarily just software, but just kind of what people do logging-wise. I had admitted that I suck at logging everything, and I need to do better. And but there was a lot of really good input on different things. Surprisingly, a lot of people use QRZ to log stuff. And there's just a bunch of different programs. Fred was just on before you came on, and he downloaded a program that Dan had chimed in and recommended, which is called the Hammers app for logging. I think that's more for portable stuff. But I'm gonna download it and check it out and see what it has to offer. So what do you got on that, Justin?
What I have on logging is a bunch of random post-its that I usually come up and find. I'm like, oh yeah, there's that call. So
they never run out of batteries, do they?
And I'm terrible at logging. So I've not done I've done the couple of like official things that I have done have been through QRZ. I think I have a whole like 3, but no, I don't know. There's something about logging that I wanted to. I did one of those, what's that guy? K4ACK, KM4ACK.
Yeah.
I did one of his Pi builds, 2019 maybe. And so it's an older build, but I didn't quite understand everything that needed to tie to it. So like all my FT8 contacts are probably gone, but I think it would be cool to tie some of that stuff. But there's so many versions of things, and then you start playing the whole Mac and PC, and then like your cell phone versus this and that and the other, and it's just like there's no perfect thing. I don't remember back in the early 2MC days, somebody always said it's more about the QSO than it is about the contact. And in my mind, that's exactly right. I'd rather have a longer conversation than just make a contact. Now, don't get me wrong. I heard Arizona, so it's not terribly far, but I hadn't heard anything in a long time.
Right.
And I nailed it, and it was a specialty station, so I logged it. And it was like, yes. But, at the same time, it's, who knows?
Yeah. My biggest problem is I'm not in it for points, right? I'm not a points chaser. I don't need like the awards or anything like that. I just like talking to people, and I like meeting new and interesting people. And so I've made some super long contacts that I thought were really cool, and I recorded them. So I just have, and that's honestly, that's all thanks to Connor. Connor sat down and spent hours with me going over just different things. I mean, you started it. I think you were the first person I contacted. I was like, help me, Justin. I can't make anything work.
Right.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, and just since then, well, Connor helped me integrate a way that I can record everything. I can just literally click a button, and I love it on HF. So if I'm listening to something and it's interesting, I just hit record, and I record it to my hard drive. I have a whole separate hard drive that I just record audio to, and then I can go back and re-look it up. Like I had one guy who was interfering.
By date and time.
What's that?
You can look it up by date and time.
Yeah, it's all really easily logged. I had a guy who was just being a jerk on HF to this other person, and I sat back and just recorded the whole thing. And then after the whole situation was all done, I got up and I said, hey, just a heads up, I recorded all of that. If you want any recordings of it, I apologize. And I felt really bad because the guy was a veteran, and the guy was like mocking him for being a veteran and stuff. It was really frustrating, and so I saved all the information and I sent it to him, and now we talk on a regular basis on HF. So it was kind of cool. But yeah, really, really interesting stuff. And that Pi build that you were talking about, I actually just did one of those, and I don't think I shared it while we were live, but I'll share it really quick. If anybody hasn't done this yet, it's super interesting, and KM4ACK has put a ton of effort into it. Now it's not going to work for me.
Yeah, but the most important part, Nick, you can't even play the Minecraft on the Pi, man.
I don't even know how to use it. I tried, and I keep, for those of you that know anything about Minecraft, you're just going to laugh at me, which I don't care. Go ahead. I get on this thing, and my figure literally immediately looks down and starts digging a hole into the ground, and then it can't get back out.
I know what the issue is.
And I can't see or anything. It's horrible.
Well, it's a Pi. It could be for some reason holding down, like your mouse could be stuck. I don't know, man. That's typically you left clicking and looking down at the same time. Yeah. So.
Maybe I'll share this another night because for some reason it's not letting me remote in.
You broke it.
I probably broke it, and I'm not.
Probably is looking at the ground and dug through again. That's probably what happened.
It just dug through. Yeah, it's.
Dug right through your freaking
It dug so far away, there's no Wi-Fi. There's no Wi-Fi at the center
through the processor. That little dude just went right through the processor.
Turn it upside down. There might be a hole in the bottom of it, right? Oh my gosh.
Pi takes Minecraft IRL. Goes wrong.
I had to break out the heater tonight for the first time out in the shack.
Are you cold?
Yeah, you show off with all your water up there.
Oh, geez. What is it? It's
Weakling. Get a hoodie.
It's 72 degrees in the shack right now.
That's
really
too hot.
Yeah, it was like 62 or something like that when I came out here, and so kick the heater on.
That's nice and comfortable. 62. That's
It's
comfortable.
69 down here in Antioch already outside.
Yeah,
Oh boy, that's still warm.
it killed me moving down to California for a period of time because now I'm a big wuss when it comes to the cold.
Next thing you know, Nick's in a couple years, Nick's just gonna be outside shirtless, just in his socks and underwear, just getting mail, waving to his neighbors.
Yeah.
It's not cold. It's 43 out.
What's going on, Bert?
Bird is here.
N6 EFR.
All right.
Oh, what's up?
How you doing, man?
Wow, Bert's background looks fairly similar.
Yeah.
Nick's.
My computer, my hard drive took a dump, so everything was gone.
Oh no.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, I had to install Zoom just now, like 5 minutes ago.
Oh no.
Oh man.
right.
You got
That
the-
sounds
you got-
about like me. So I run into problems all the time where my computer gets reset by my kids, and and then I get on the Antinet and I don't test anything beforehand, and then everything goes to crap, and then Connor remotes in and fixes it for me live stream. That's like the story. That's 60% of our Antinets right there.
So, Bert, did you allow Nick to remote into your computer? Is that what happened?
No. So this is that that KM4 ACK build that I was telling
Oh,
you
it didn't
about.
dig itself
Oh
out.
yeah.
Or Justin had brought it up. Can you guys see that okay?
Yep.
What is
Yeah.
that?
So this is yeah,
What
I'm
is the
just
Pi?
using my monitor to remote into this Raspberry Pi. And so this is a Pi 4. Super simple. It takes some time, but most of what takes time, you don't have to do anything. Basically, this will build itself. You simply take an SD card, plug it into a computer, go to KM4 ACK Pi build. Just search that in Google, go to the first link, and it'll take you to a place where you can literally just download where you can go and you can input. I'm sorry.
It's up on.
First thing you have to do is you have to load a Raspbian, the Pi operating system, which is just a file that you download and you use a program to write that to an SD card. You plug it into the Pi, and then you run a script through this command prompt right here that you get off of that KM4 ACK BitHub, and then you're done. It's that easy. And it's so feature rich. I just wanted to show everybody what this is, the full Pi Raspberry Pi operating system, the full download, and every program that's offered through the KM4 ACK GitHub and through his upgrade. And so when you go here, the first thing you can see is ham radio. There's a ton of different applications. YAAC. XASTIR, which is a station tracking and information reporting, WSJTX, QSL, TQSL for loading to Logbook of the World, temperature converter, QSSTV for slow scan stuff.
Hammers is on there.
What's that?
Hammers is on there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it
right in the
is.
middle.
Look at that.
It's right in the middle.
There we go. We'll click on it here in just a second. Pat menu is for like I think doing like WinLink type emails and stuff. I haven't set any of this up yet. I literally just got it going, and I haven't had time to really approach any of it. And I really want to play around with some of these programs and see what they can do. But the list just goes on and on and on. And then over here he had he set this up to where if my GPS dongle is hooked up to it, but it's in the garage, so it's not getting a GPS signal. But in most circumstances, it automatically posts where your grid square is. It tells you your local and UTC time. It'll tell you information about your processing speed and how much memory you have available and stuff. It tells you, this is cool for those of you that have messed with Linux-based operating systems and stuff. It gives you your IP addresses right there. They're right there, just right on the front of the screen. And then also different digital modes that are on or off. JS8 call, PAT is active right now. FL Digi. The whole FL suite is available on here. There's also different satellite tracking software and stuff like that. So more information than your brain can process all at one time. There's so much to do on here. And this thing, you can literally pack it up, run it off of a battery supply, with a little buck converter to drop it down to 5 volts, and you've got a remote computer anywhere that you can use your phone or any other device to remote into it, or if you wanted to hook it up to a little screen to carry around with you, however you wanted to do it. And there's logging software and all kinds of stuff on here, so pretty cool.
So it's all one, what's it called? Image or whatever it is, and you can just load it onto a.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, basically you just take an SD card, put it in your computer, and load the Pi operating system. And then once you've done that, then you plug it into your Raspberry Pi and you boot it up. And then once you boot it up, you'll do a couple little configuration settings for like your resolution and stuff. And then you go straight in and go into the command line and write out what KM4 ACK put to write out. You just copy and paste that in there, and then it'll start loading his Pi build on top of it. And
nice.
you go through a couple of different setups there, and once that's done, you just walk away. It takes like 4 hours, and then you come back
4 hours.
and you have this. It literally, there's like something like 15,000 lines of code or something.
Because his script inserts your call sign and all kinds of crap into as many of the programs as it possibly can.
Yeah.
Like he configures everything. It's awesome.
That's cool.
Except for apparently HamRS.
Yeah, so I'm curious if Fred got this set up, if he did this, how he did this.
I have Hammers on my PC. I downloaded it and installed it back in April, but I'm not doing anything that requires logging, so it just sits there. But it's installed, so they got a PC version as well.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to do a lighter version of everything he's done here, because I need to figure out how to do something with APRS, and I think it's got to do with Direwolf. But my hope is to build an APRS repeater out of a Pi Zero, and have that on top of my my Yaesu, the 80-watt one, 2980. And then you have a 2-meter repeater, right? A digipeater that you can load in the truck, throw in a tree, right? Whatever. And now you can actually play APRS for real down here, because I don't know, APRS just doesn't seem to work very well around here.
High elevation sites with good antennas, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, but push out 80 watts of it, right? Repeat it to something that can hear it. That's the problem, is you're on an HT, right? So that's the deal, is you need to digipeat to hit one of those. So I don't want to be like using Wi-Fi off my cell phone. I want to digipeat so I can be down in the valley and hit my truck or whatever and get out.
So you basically have a mobile digipeater.
That's what I want to do.
This is actually really easy to use.
Pretty easy, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, look at that. I typed in his call sign. It automatically popped up.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So the desktop app is free, but
yes,
the phone
Fairfield, California.
Right.
HAMRS is.
That's it.
They have a Windows version. I mean, they took.
They do. I got it. I have it on my Windows PC.
I'm getting it right now.
Get it.
Every day is field day. I love that, and they trademarked it.
What about on your Unix PC?
Every day is field.
Well, if it's on a Pi, then it's already set up for Linux, right? Because a Pi is just Linux Mint.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, no. Well, it's Debian, I believe the Pi build for ACK.
Well, whatever, but it's still Linux.
You guys check this out.
That's a map.
It's a map. It thinks I'm in the middle of the country, which is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you can change all that, but is there a way to change the entries based on if you're operating a contest or something like that?
You can set up different logbooks. So you can make a logbook for each contest you get in.
What's HamQTH?
Where they're located.
It's kind of like QRZ.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to figure it out. All right, let me create a logbook with Nick.
But there's that other like Google like Earth, or not Google Earth, but Google Maps like.
Oh, here we go.
Thing that
Templates.
shows everybody. That's way better.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
called.
so-
Hold on.
It gives you there's only a few options on here, which is winter field day, summits on the air, parks on the air, or generic.
Well, that's
I mean,
the
what?
templates.
That's just the template, but then you could call it anything you want.
Yeah,
So just use generic and then name it whatever you want it to be.
yeah, no, but what I'm saying as far as templates, so that's one of the things about N1MM that's really nice is they've got something for every single contest, and it automatically tells you this is what you need. This is what you need for the contest. So, you don't go into it not knowing what information you need for the exchange. Whereas, like, I'm sure field day, it's going to tell you what you need for the exchange. Like, if you're a 15 alpha or 5 alpha, or
They don't have dark theme though.
Hey, Justin, I put the link to that ham map in there in the chat.
That's exactly it. That is the coolest version.
Oh, you know what? You know what the best thing about that is? You can get, like, I'll put in 94531 and get all the Antioch ham operators right there, and then you go Control A, you highlight all the freaking call signs, copy it, and you can drop it into a spreadsheet or into a text field or text file or whatever. And you just get a whole list of everybody that's in your neighborhood.
So what I use it for is I'm like so that's that house. All right. So then like I go and I'm like, when I'm on a walk, I'll be like should I put out a call? Like see if they're listening. So
there's a dude, I walk by his house like 3 or 4 times a week. No antennas though. I don't know. But there's a registered license at that house. So, and I know the guy, and it's the guy's name that's on the license. So one of these days, next time I see him, I'm going to ask him if he's an amateur radio operator.
I've got a lot of folks in the Benicia Club that are mostly like cert kind of focused. And so for them, the Baofeng is like, that's all they want because that works in their mind of what it is. And you know what? If that's what gets your interest, rock on, But it always blows my mind. I'm like, when you find the person too, though, like, that was a different meeting. Somebody goes, all I see now is antennas. And I'm like, yep, when you first get your license, all you see is antennas. And like, it's amazing how many antennas that you never saw before, or how many things that you're like, I didn't realize that was an antenna.
Just like when you buy a Dodge Viper, you see all the Dodge Vipers around, right?
So what are you saying, Jim? You're buying me a Viper?
No, I sold your Viper. I sold your Viper, man. Sorry. I didn't know you needed it. Damn. Should have told me to save it for you.
Yeah, there's like a house like three doors down where it's like I see his telescoping antenna go up, and it's like I never hear him anywhere or whatever. And it's just like he's got this one, and I see it like above his house in his backyard.
Yeah.
But it's like I would guess that he's seen my antenna on top of my car, my little mag mount, but we've never like really talked to each other. But it's like he's like down there, he's like a technician or whatever. But it's like I don't know. Do I go up to his house and hey, I'm a ham too?
I've got a similar situation. There's a guy that lives down the street from me, and he's got like antennas on his cars, and they're like 900 megahertz whips, right? And the guy, I don't know if they rent the house or what, but there's no ham license to his address. And I see him all the time, and I'm like, I'll stop and talk to the guy, but every time I see him, I'm like walking out of the house, so I'm just like, well, I'll do it another time. Or I'm going somewhere, not walking out of the house.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll do it another time. And another time never comes, so it just sad. I have a question for you, Nick. I know you're not, maybe like this is not your app or whatever yet. I logged in with QRZ. Is that just to search the call sign, or does it sync to QRZ?
I think so. Like, did you see what I just put in?
No.
I used Jim as our dummy load here.
I just made a contact with you.
I'm a good dummy load.
652 as a test, and
I was
put
like,
in
if I'm
this
gonna
test.
put some random call sign in here, it's gonna be Jim's.
Do it, man. Do it.
So this popped up. It gave us all his information based on QRZ. It gave us his kind of a map of his location,
You can zoom right
longitude.
into it. You can even, yeah, you can really get close, I think. But
For me, I just did a log of you, Nick.
Yeah.
I just logged you, and if I
Did it destroy your? Did it blow up your computer?
Yeah, that's all.
I
your
figured
fault.
it probably would. That's kind of how I
Here's the
run.
thing about it. What's really weird is I like, hold on, brain. I just tried to log you again, and it allowed me to double log you, which I find it really weird. Like, it didn't pop up and say duplicate or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, some of these are kind of rudimentary. I know there's some logging software,
Yeah.
like N1MM will go nuts. Like it gets all red and flashes and says, "Hey, you're logging someone again." Like it really warns you, and
Yeah.
you can scan for duplicates and all kinds of stuff. I don't know about how this works, but what I do like is that I like that map that you go to.
Yeah, it's really cool, but it shows that I'm in like the center of Kansas. It shows that I'm in Wichita, Kansas.
That's because you got to set your GPS coordinates and all that jazz.
Where? I don't see a
Well,
setting
you see,
for
my grid right there.
that. My grid.
Right there.
Charlie Mike 87. That's what my
Right,
grid
but-
is.
Right. But it's also, remember, depending upon how this is set up, it's tied to the stuff that's in the pie, right? Like Nick even said, his GPS isn't working right now. So it's just generically pulling something. So if your stuff isn't all active there.
Nick, click on map. Mine's in the same spot, Wichita,
Yeah.
Kansas.
Yeah. So I think the trick here too is what I think would be super powerful about whichever logging program you use here is if you were to be using FL Rig or one of WSJTX or anything else on here, is it going to auto-populate for you?
Yeah, I turned on expanded mode, by the way, Nick, because it logs your grid, your QTH, your state, and your operator name, and I can edit it. So if you put Molly on and she was using your call sign, I can change who I operated with.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's that's kind of like why I like the N1MMs, because I can control it with like the rig or whatever's with the rig controller thing, and I don't have to drop in a frequency or what mode I'm in and stuff like that.
Well, I think that's the key, right? Is how many times do you forget to look down at the frequency and realize you've shifted? Like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm not on there. Or what time it is. Like that's the other key to like all of this. Like if you're doing it, it's about what time and all of the different things.
Yeah.
It looks like the QRZ integration's not working, because if you change the search to a QRZ search instead of a HamDB search, it doesn't work it well. So, and I see a lot of coming soon wherever I go on here. It says function coming soon.
yeah, well, look at the version. Look at the version number.
I don't have a version number. Where is it?
Look, help about. It's not even a 1 dot version. There's still, it's kind of beta-ish.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you know what?
0.11.
People are raving about it and they love it.
It's really cool. It just needs to be updated. That's all I think.
Yeah.
Just
What
takes-
about Ham Radio Deluxe?
I have it.
That's pretty fancy.
I have it.
Yeah. It does logging.
It does logging. It does a lot of things.
Yeah.
You just have to have, like, for most of the functions in Ham Radio Deluxe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong if anybody uses it here, but you have to have your radio connected to the computer. So, for example, if you're just on 2 meters with some old thick brick handheld or mobile or whatever, it's not going to be your friend, because you have to click on this button and that button just to punch a frequency and to say I'm logging this guy here. But when you have
mine
the
shows a
computer
duplicate.
connected- Really?
Yeah, it's mine's.
Oh, so it doesn't stop you from creating the duplicate log.
No, you usually
Oh,
wouldn't
no.
want to stop a dupe. You'd
No.
usually, especially like in contest mode, you're just trying to fly through everything. The other half of it is you might realize that your dupe was wrong and that you worked somebody on a different mode, right? Like, you know, if you just surfed them through, all right, hey, let's shift to 60, let's jump to 17, right? Like, it's not that hard.
I see. I got
And
it. Yeah.
N1MM will kind of predict what the call sign is and get you really close, so that if you ad-libbed it a little bit, you can go back in and you can see it and go, oh, boom, that was the one, and fix it right there, which makes it
Best
kind of
part is
nice.
If you get it wrong, like say I don't think there's a KN6 DAA, right? But oh, there is. Okay, he's actually in Mountain View. I was gonna say if they say like oh, it just possible duplicate, never mind. It popped it up in the right hand corner when I typed in your call sign. So if I type in DAA again, it shows his name, but if I type in L and I click away, it pops up and says possible duplicate 9 minutes ago. So before I even submit the log. That's actually really cool.
But I think the other thing that's cool about something like this, though, is it's not PC, right? Like, that's my problem with N1MM and Ham Radio Deluxe is your option is PC.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if they're gonna set up a sync between the mobile and the desktop and something.
I don't know, but it's fun to play around with. We'll see if this. I wish I could figure out how to get the QSO map to work.
I know. That would be really cool. I mean, I see you. I logged a contact with you. But yeah, it shows that I'm in like I said, Wichita, Kansas.
Well, isn't there a way you can manually set your location?
No.
You can set your grid square, but the thing is, I think in order to do it, so something seems to, like what Connor was saying, I can look stuff up with QRZ as my setting, but I think you where is that at? Right here.
Right there.
Oh,
yeah,
here we
it
go.
doesn't work.
I didn't have it as QRZ.
And go to expanded mode too.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn on expanded mode because you can actually see the name of the operator that you're working.
Up the top button.
Yep.
No.
Like I just set my grid square to Charlie Mike 87 UN, and the time is now, and I click save.
It's its settings and the very top of it. Right there, that
Right
toggle.
There. Turn that on. There you go.
Yep.
Thank you, Bert.
Sure thing. Gotta get to annotate every time we get to use it.
That was cool, man.
You never seen that?
No, I never did. What do you do? Reactions or somewhere
So
else?
you go up to the top of the screen where you see that next,
Yeah.
and then there's like thing says annotate, and it comes up with little drawing tools.
Where I got view options. Oh yeah, annotate. Look at that.
Yeah. Then you can draw stuff.
Oh, look at that. That's cute.
You can put what's the other thing? What's the other thing we always used to do? Hearts.
Oh, we
Hearts
were
all over the
messing with
place.
people forever. Yeah. Once we found out we could do that, we all instantly turned into little children.
Oh my god, I was trying to give a presentation and you guys were like scribbling all over the presentation. I was like, alright, I'll just wait for the children in the call here.
That's super funny. Well, all right. I think that's it for now. We'll be doing this again next week, so hopefully everybody can make it. I'm gonna say 7-3 to YouTube, and we'll be hanging out here in the Zoom chat for a little bit. If anybody wants to join, save that link and 7-3.